All right. Hey, on the Satoshi Show, we're gonna have crypto analyzer who's been doing a lot of um, the videos that checks these companies. He's got a series of them, and we've been following him. Great interviews of each of the companies. We're gonna have Johann, who's from MTI. But I'd like to get started by introducing my partner, Troy Rader, who's been in the crypto business since 2016, doing mining, trading, running masternodes, and then also consulted on various crypto projects. And my name is David Chandler, and I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Troy to ask the first questions with Johann.
Right on, David. David's no slouch either. He's been a top 10 marketer with half a dozen household brand network marketing companies. He's also a top IT guy, runs a team of about 30 IT guys. So with that, I want to introduce two people here. Number one, Gary, you might know as the crypto analyzer, world famous, absolute stunning reviews. His detail is unmitigated. No, I like his, you can find him on YouTube, and he reviews companies, and that information's invaluable. I also want to introduce the man of the hour here, Johann Steinberg, I believe from South Africa, who owns a company, Mirror Trading International. Go ahead, Johann. Say hi and tell us just a little bit about your company.
I think he's still on mute.
There you go.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, sorry about the connection was a bit bad. It's a pleasure being here with you guys and chatting with you. So yeah, I don't know what you know about MTI. The company, I started it in April of last year in 2019. And initially it was just, a company or a project to assist myself and a few of my friends, to make a little bit of extra money throughout, throughout the trading process and through trading. Where it all started from, I'm involved in Bitcoin or making a full-time living out of Bitcoin and crypto since January 2015. And over the years, I've, lost a lot of money on certain projects and programs. And last year in February of 2019, something similar happened to a bunch of my friends at the golf club. And, we decided to try and find a way to invest and trade where the risk would, we would sort of have control over the risk and the funds. And, a couple of days later or a week later or so, I got everything set up and working. And the idea was just for this little group of us, to trade in a pool. And a few weeks later, this whole small idea evolved into a quite a big and serious networking company with the trading, as the main source of income or as the heartbeat of MTI.
Well, very good. What, as far as the returns go from the trading, what is your goal? What's your monthly goal?
Well, at the moment, over the last 6 months or so, we're doing roughly 10 to 12% a month. I'm extremely happy with that. Initially, my idea was, if we can do 5% a month, I'll be over the moon. It's a lot more than other financial institutions or monetary systems can provide for us. So if I can do 5% a month for my members, I'll be extremely happy with that. So far, we've exceeded that. But it would be unrealistic to say that we will always exceed that. You know, it is trading, and there is an element of risk involved. So, you know, I'm not, you know, everybody I spoke to or speak to, I try to cement the facts with them, saying, you know, it is trading, and we will have bad months and we will have bad days. It's just the way the system works, or the industry works. Up to now, we are very fortunate that we haven't had a single losing day on at statement time, so to say. But throughout the day, there's hundreds of losing trades. So, yeah, I think that answers your question a bit.
Absolutely. I was just doing some quick math here while you were talking. At 10%, if that could be maintained as an average, in 4 years, that would make a $10,000 account a millionaire. And that was just quick math, so I may be off a little bit, but it looks like anyone could become a millionaire here if you can sustain that type of growth.
Well, the compounding effect is massive. I believe we can do that, although there are no guarantees. You know, for me personally, I think the main idea was to help the little guy, somebody that can afford $100, maybe $200 to sort of supplement their income. Although over the last few months, we've seen really big investors climbing in as well, with big money. So we try to accommodate everybody, and you know, as long as the trading holds, it certainly is possible.
Earlier we talked about risk management. Could you just go over in like 30 seconds the process you have to mitigate risk, so these traders or this bot doesn't blow out the account?
Yes. So each trade, when it opens, have a predetermined take profit and stop loss. It does change from time to time with the bot. You know, the software sort of does a risk analysis on a specific trade and determines its take profit and stop loss according to that. In general, it's about a 20 pip stop loss and a 6 pip take profit. So we need to have more winning trades than losing trades. And over and above that, the system, the software is programmed in such a way that when we reach 8% drawdown, everything shuts down. We are willing to, you know, to take that 8% knock, and then the traders can, you know, they can analyze and see what happened, what caused the problem. And, you know, we have the developers of the bot, they, in exchange for the license fee that they get rewarded very handsomely for, they need to have somebody in front of the bot continuously throughout the day and monitoring. So I think from that point of view, as a risk management, we are safe. And, you know, as things, as time goes on, they continuously tweak and change as market conditions change on the forex side as well. So I'm very confident in this team, you know, the bot creators, and yeah, we'll take it from there. But I'd say worst case scenario, if things go haywire, we'll lose 8%. Everything gets closed, and we'll analyze from there.
Yeah, I love that hard cutoff with the 8% drawdown. That's brilliant. You know, a lot of EAs I've used over the years, I've seen it, you know, go all the way to 50%, 60%. I saw one that when Brexit hit, I believe that was 2016 or 2017, it blew out a whole account I had 58,000 in that account, and it wiped me out. It just, the bot kept buying when the market was dropping, and that's the way it was set up, and just little buys every few pips, and until it just drained the whole account. So I like the way you've got it set up. We don't want to take too much more of your time, Johann, but could you talk just a little bit? there's two ways to make Bitcoin with this as I see it. One, you've got to have some Bitcoin to go in and fund your brokerage account. Or two, you can invite people and build your account that way through the binary program, which is genius. So people, if they don't have the Bitcoin to invest, they can go ahead and earn it. Could you talk just a little bit about how that's structured and how that came about?
That's right. Yeah. So there's two ways. You can, just be a straightforward investor. At the moment, roughly 30 to 40% of the members of MTI is just investors. They've got no interest in the affiliate side of the company, which is fine. That's the way I saw the business from the get-go. It's an investment, and if you want to share it with friends, then that's an optional extra for you. So for me, I think I'm just going to put it out there. We don't rely on.
Oh, he was getting to the juicy part too.
Yeah. So, we.
Johann, you left off at the part where you don't rely on, and that was the great part that you come into.
Okay.
And then we lost you.
That.
Yeah.
So with MTI, we don't rely on new members. All of your members' funds go into trade, and if we make a profit during that week, then there's a profit share, for the networking side or the affiliate side. If we don't turn a profit, then there's nothing for anybody involved. Let's say this week we don't turn a profit on the trades, then myself, MTI won't get paid, the traders won't get their license fee, there won't be any binary or networking commissions paid. So I think the system is set up very fair in that way that it's absolutely performance-based. If the traders and their software performs, then there's money in it for everybody. If not, then the whole networking side of the business cannot exist. So just by doing that, this company is 100% sustainable. Out of, let's say, Dave, you deposit $1,000, just as an example, your whole $1,000 goes into trade, where some other companies take a portion of that, keep it back for commissions or this or that. So what can happen with MTI, if all 9,500 members decide they want to withdraw tomorrow morning, there will be money to do that, because as a company, we haven't deducted any funds, to pay commissions or salaries or things like that. Everything comes from the profits that we generate in trade.
Wow, that's outstanding, because I know of another company out there, I won't mention any names, but when I was evaluating it, 70% of your balance went into trade, and the other 30% went to pay commissions. And this is incredible. I like it. What do you think, David?
Oh, I do. I do have a couple of quick questions, and I know we don't want to keep you too long, but you know that we are here in the U.S. and have you have members that are here in the U.S. and that is MTI legal for the U.S.? And I don't know if I'm asking that correctly or not, but those are one of the concerns that we have with forexes over here in the U.S.
That's right. Yeah, we do have a few members in the U.S. According to my lawyers, it is legal. But, each country has its own set of rules. We try to accommodate each and every one. So the best would be to check with your own guys. As far as my knowledge go, and these of my lawyers in South Africa, we are legal there. In South Africa, Bitcoin is totally unregulated. MTI makes use of its Bitcoin in, Bitcoin out, and at no stage is the funds exchanged into a fiat currency. So for the time being, even in South Africa, there's no, it's unfortunate, but that's what it is at the moment. There's no regulating body or, in South Africa, it's called the FSCA, that can regulate us even if we want to, simply because they don't see Bitcoin as monetary, that it doesn't have a legal tender or monetary value. So I assume that is in many other countries the case. As far as my lawyers are concerned, we're good to go in all countries. But yeah, there might be certain things, I know with the SEC and stuff like that in the US, that members should just double check. That's the best answer I can give you at this stage.
David, could I just add to that?
Sure.
Most people, when they open an account with a broker,
I think I've lost you guys. Hello?
I can still hear you.
We can still hear you.
Most people, when they open a broker account, it's going to be in US dollars. Your base currency is going to be in US dollars, GBP, yen, whatever it is. The broker that Mirror Trading International are using is FX Choice, and you can use a base currency of Bitcoin, so it's in bits. So like your show name, Satoshis. So that's quite unusual. So a lot of people have asked me in the past, how can they, trade in Bitcoin? How is it fully Bitcoin in, Bitcoin out? And that's because the broker allows a base currency of Satoshi's bits.
Oh, great. Thank you for that. Real quick, on your site it says that we don't have to have a KYC. Isn't when you do a brokerage account, don't you always have to have a KYC?
See, on MTI at the moment, it's a pooled account with a broker. So MTI as a whole had to do KYC and all the, the paperwork and all that stuff. But for the members, it's not necessary. And, with the laws and regulations here in South Africa, where Bitcoin isn't a regulated instrument, no KYC is required. But, you can be rest assured when regulation change, and I say when because I do expect it to happen, the KYC and all that stuff will be done and will be fully compliant.
Okay, so basically we don't have our own brokerage account. It's a pooled account with MTI. That's correct, right?
He might not be able to hear you, but that is correct. All the funds go into one account, one wallet, and then they're sent across to the broker.
Okay, Troy, you and I were talking yesterday, and you were under the assumption that we would have our own brokerage account, so it's a pool account.
Yeah, like I said, when I looked at this, it was at least a year ago, maybe longer. I think in the early days, you had the people have their own accounts. Is that correct, Johann?
That's right. Up until April, when we started in April, each member had their own brokerage account, and we ran on a MAM account, a multi-account manager account. So when the human traders that traded for us, when they made a mess of everything, I had to kick them out, and then we got the spot trading for us. So for about 2 weeks, we ran the bot on this managed account where every member could see the live trades. That worked very well. But it was just a matter of time where we found a couple of businesses starting up, copying our trades and selling it off. So, using copier software on the MT4 platform. So at that stage, the developers and the software guys of the EA, they sort of gave me an ultimatum, either we take everything in-house where nobody can copy the trades and basically nobody can steal their IP. That was the one route, or the other was to, call it a day and we split paths. So I had to make the decision, and I chose to, to bring everything in-house into a pooled account. And, we've been operating like that since, I think about the 1st of August, end of July or early August last year.
The reason we were asking about that, Johann, is we're thinking about pursuing this on the marketing side. And we're looking at a structure where we're thinking about putting the Satoshi Show in directly to the crypto analyzer, and then myself build the right leg and David build the wrong leg, that we'd each get a position underneath it. So
yes.
That brings up the question, do you, most companies don't allow multiple accounts and all that. Is MTI the same way, or?
I don't promote having multiple accounts, but we've seen, I've got friends in the system. He has an account, his wife got one, and, in the family, there's a couple of accounts. That doesn't bother me at all. At the end of the day, in the binary structure, the commission structure, that volume counts towards everybody. And, it doesn't bother me, to say the least. But, we have had instances where one guy would open up 200 accounts in his own name.
Oh.
And that I, we just sent him a mail and closed down the other 199. And, then he can carry on. But one or two accounts, that won't bother me.
200 accounts, that's too much to manage.
Can you imagine 200 emails?
Oh my gosh.
200 passwords?
That brings me to my last question, Johann, and that is, right now you said you have about 9,500 members. What if you have 100,000? Are you still sustainable? Because, some companies, when they start off really small, they have a group of people, but then, forex trading or arbitraging or any of that kind of stuff, there's a limit to that.
Yes. I have planned for this in advance, with a brokerage. When the time comes, and we're nearly there at the moment, where the account becomes big enough or too big to cope with the normal lot sizes on the brokerage account, they allowed us to open a second and a third and a fourth account. In the normal forex industry, I don't foresee a problem anytime soon. It's a couple of $1 trillion a day in volume, so that wouldn't be a problem. But on the brokerage side, we are working on that, and I believe from what they tell me, we are good to go. We can grow this company. I'm also in the process, actually over the last 6 months, looking for additional brokers, to split the risk between multiple brokers, portions of the pool at each broker. But unfortunately, the way it is now, there's only a handful of brokers that allows Bitcoin as a base currency, or that offers that service with Bitcoin as a base currency. And the couple that I looked at, quite frankly, I simply don't trust them. They're not long in the game. So I'm sticking with a company that I personally have an account with for the last 4 years or so. And, I'm on good speaking terms with them. So, expansion, we are ready for it.
Right on. Yeah, I really like your choice of FX choice broker out of Belize, because I've had an account with them since 2017, and I've had a Bitcoin account with them and a cash account, fiat account with them. they're real good. On the other hand, I've had brokerage houses like I'm trying to think of the last one, Capital City Markets. I had about 15 grand in there and they just disappeared on me. I mean, there's been a few of those brokerage houses that just disappear and you don't know where they went. So that's real important. Glad you're taking that real serious. But FX Choice, I have a lot of faith in them. What is the lot size that you're able to fill orders on a regular basis? Is it 100 lots or is it more?
Well, at the moment, the trade is running at about a 20 to 23 lot size.
That's pretty good for one account.
Yeah, so that's what it's running at. You know, we just went over 1,000 Bitcoin earlier this week. So I'd rather, you know, at this stage split the accounts, open an additional account, and run it on, you know, let's say 500 Bitcoin per account until we reach that 1,000 Bitcoin limit again, and we'll split again from there. So that's my idea, and you know, with the experts that I've talked to, you know, on the trader side and broker side, they feel the same. You know, it would be a good route for us to follow.
Very good. Oh, well, I sure appreciate your wealth of knowledge and your willingness to share it with us and your transparency, Johann. Been a pleasure. David or Gary, any last comments or questions? Go ahead and we'll wrap it up.
I think it might be worthwhile to mention from a risk point of view, Johann, as to what percentage of the account is at risk at any one time during trading.
The software utilizes, you know, on each trade, the software does a bit of a risk analysis and then determines the opening, the lot size of the trade. But on the software is set in such a way it risks anything between 2 and 5% on all the trades combined. So we trade 28 different currency pairs. So basically, let's say it's on 5%. That 5% will then be divided through 28 currency pairs, and you know, a small percentage will be then traded. So risk on the account on opening trades between 2 and 5%,
which is very low. So even if you had a terrible day,
and then obviously when.
Sorry, Johann, you're frozen for me. I'm not sure for everybody else.
Yes, he is.
I was going to ask him as well. Oh, Johann, can you hear me now?
He's on mute.
You're on mute, buddy.
Oh, there you go.
I'm back.
Okay.
So you froze there part way. I'm not sure if you wanted to finish anything there, but I also wanted to ask, when you mentioned about 8% as being the your kind of cutoff, sort of an emergency button, when you hit 8% drawdown, you hit stop. How many times has that ever happened in the past?
None. We haven't reached that yet. Our largest drawdown was about 3.6 or 3.8%.
Okay, so it's just a safety measure that's never triggered. That's good.
That's right.
You mentioned as well that recently, although most, you know, up to 40% are passive investors, that recently you've had some whales come in. So, what kind of, you know, what kind of whales are we talking about? How big?
Well, there's our largest single investor has got about 30 Bitcoin in the pool.
Wow.
You know, that's quite big, and I'm in, you know, I won't say negotiations, but in the what's the word?
Discussions.
The discussions with much bigger guys that want to get involved. They're talking about almost 1,000 Bitcoin that they want to bring to MTI.
And are they asking for special terms then?
No, none at all. None at all. Actually, in my mind, and it will remain that way, you'll earn, let's say we make 1% for the month. You'll earn your 1% if you have $100 or $1 million in the account. It's the same for everybody.
That's very fair of you. Thank you. On behalf of the little man, thank you.
Yeah, that's little man. 1,000 bitcoins. Oh my gosh. I don't have anything else, Troy. Just wanted to make sure that scalability, the part for the USA, and that's pretty much for me. You know more about trading than I do, so you have the right questions to ask about the trading part.
Right, and Johann had the right answers. Never having won over a 3.8% drawdown and having a kill switch at 8%. My gosh, that's music to my ears. Having been a guy who's failed in forex over and over and over in the years, I've probably lost over $100,000 in forex. Now, one of the things I do that I lose money on more than I make. So I'm just being a little bit transparent. I love the sound of this, really do.
Could I just mention one other thing? Sorry, I own lots and lots of VAs, and I had a very similar experience to you, Troy, in terms of their lack of efficacy. But most of the EAs I've had, you might get 4-7 trades a day. That would be kind of high. Johann's EA is putting up to 500 trades in a day. So there's obviously some very different, algorithmic mathematics going on, and a lot of very, very small trades. I know 6% isn't that much. 6 pips isn't that much. It's very quick scalping in a way, but to be able to do 500 trades in a day is amazing. So it's very different than your normal off-the-shelf style bots that you could get online, for example.
Yeah, and I think Johann alluded to that, saying that this was a very expensive piece of software. Am I correct there?
That's correct. Over the last few months, as the pool grew, the traders portion also grew very nicely. Last month for January, their fee was 32 Bitcoin. If all goes well, I believe February it might be 4. And I'm more than happy to pay that as long as the thing performs.
Absolutely, and we're happy for that as well.
Yeah, you know what? What I see that is really great, at least for us to promote this, Troy, is that your original contribution you can take out at any time. You can roll back what your profits are, even if it's $1 or a few cents, it gets rolled back in. You don't have to wait for a certain amount of time, and then your money is not locked in. So all those things I really love.
That's huge. That's huge, David. That was one of the big things that attracted me to MTI, and as well as the fact that there are 0 fees. I hate fees anyway. I understand fees, but I hate them. And the fact that there's no fees. Deposit fees are stupid anyway, but there's no deposit fees. There's no withdrawal fees. There's no fees anywhere, and I love that. Well done, Johann.
By the way, do you does MTI do manual? Yeah, when I got set up everything, I the line is a bit hanging now. Sorry.
I can hear you now, Johann. Go ahead.
Okay, perfect. Being locked down with funds in a system, it happened to me so many times. And when I decided, let's do MTI, that was one of my first things. Gary, if you put in $1,000 with MTI, that money doesn't belong to me. So I have 0 rand, keep it if you want to withdraw it. And that was the main principle for me. It still remains your funds. You can take it in, put it in today and take it out tomorrow. And what does really work in our favor is the low drawdown on the trades. It would be a completely different thing if, if our bot ran, let's say, on a 30 or 40 or 50% drawdown. Then obviously I cannot release that funds to you because a portion of that is locked in trade. But on average, if we look at the daily statements, drawdown with the open trade, some days it's 0.1% or 0.3%. It's a minute drawdown, and that allows us or enables us to, to take funds in and out of the account without it affecting the trading.
And that reduces the risk in itself as well. Instead of being stuck in swing trades, etc. Could I just ask you, Johann, because you've introduced this new leadership bonus recently. I think that's great. And I've noticed that the number of shares, the people who qualify for that shares, has been going up really dramatically during the week. So a lot of people are realizing, wow, I'd love to have one of those shares, and they're becoming qualified. The P2, the next level, when is that going to be live?
Yes. I hope by tomorrow, 12 o'clock. There's quite a bit of programming that needs to be done there. I'm programming myself, so I need to get that sorted.
It's not a good idea to rush that before you go on holidays, mate.
Yeah, shucks. When I got the idea and for this whole leadership bonus, it was so quick and easy to do. And then last week I went to Cape Town, and next week to Mexico. Things was just a little bit hectic, and I ran out of time. But it's 99% done. I'll have one of my guys put out a video this evening. Just the binary run, the leadership 1 and 2 bonus tomorrow will happen about noon South African time tomorrow.
And will we be able to see the calculation? Will we be able to see the calculation in the back office for how that was worked out in the same way you do the binary bonus?
Yes, it will be. I can hear you now. As the line is not great, but I can hear you.
Sorry, did you want to answer that? Sorry, mate. Or do you want me to repeat?
So, I could hear that. With the current binary calculations that's in the back office, where you get the whole formula and how that was calculated, the exact same way of doing things will also be in the back office for your leadership 1 and leadership 2.
Great.
So that you can do your own calculations and see that the math works. So it just reduces a lot of questions if that is not there. So we'll rather put it there. Everybody can help or look at the math and see how we got to the figures.
Excellent. And I think that's a really good incentive to make people to bring in team builders, because you've got 9,500 members, and currently only about 900 of those actually qualify for the leadership bonus. So that's going to bring in team builders. I think it's a good feature.
Well, Gary, you're going to have to send us some information on that, because I don't think we read that anywhere about the leadership program.
Sure. Do you want me to give you the basics of it, or Johann, or send you a video?
Gary, there's a video that explains it very nicely on the MTI YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's a brilliant video, actually. Yeah, you're right. In 2 minutes, it explains the whole thing. Yeah.
Okay, great. Anything else you wanted to ask Troy?
Oh, I'm good. Johann, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for taking an hour out of your day for us. Gary, thank you for taking the time to arrange this and taking the time out of your day. I like what I see here. I mean, I'm glad I didn't get involved a year ago when I first saw it, and I was able to watch the company evolve and and watch the integrity of the management, you know, and watch the decisions they made over the past year. And I think the time's right to get involved right now, go on with both feet, put some Bitcoin in this thing and go to work.
I think this company has a huge way to go. You know, only 9,500 customers, and a month ago I think they had 6,000 customers. So it's taking off now.
So one last thing in that is you're in South Africa, Johann. So if we had somebody that wanted to visit the office, that's available, right?
Yes, it is. We have a office in Johannesburg, and then last week when I was in Cape Town, this is not public knowledge yet, but I can share it with you guys. I'm setting up a complete a corporate administration office in Stellenbosch. It's about 20 minutes drive from Cape Town. So I guess I'll spend most of my time there in the future. But that's where my support staff and guys that I know for many, many years, they are down there. So they'll manage that office. So we'll have an office in Cape Town, and then we have in Johannesburg.
And is that office open to the public or by invitation only?
For the time being, only by appointment or invitation. Right next door to Stellenbosch in Somerset West, it's literally 10 kilometers, maybe 15. There's also an office going up there that will be open to the public, that you can visit, do presentations, get training, all that type of thing.
It'd be awesome if you could make a video of that and put that on your channel as well, so we can see the offices.
Yes, I believe it will be up and ready the 1st of March. So we'll do a nice opening or a launch or what. So I think I'm in Cape Town the 27th or 28th of Feb. Then we'll get ready for all of that.
Cool.
Well, Troy, there's that you always wanted to go to Cape Town, right? You come by and visit the grand opening.
Give myself some Kruger rounds.
There you go.
Digital Kruger rounds.
Yeah, that's much better.
Yeah.
You guys are always more than welcome to come and visit. It would be a pleasure hosting you.
Well, thanks, Johann. David, let's wrap this up.
Okay. Well, there you have it. Our interview with the well-known Gary, who is the crypto analyzer, Troy on here, and then our CEO, Johann from MTI. Thank you.
Thank you very much.